Hello, everyone, and welcome into TexAgs Rewind presented by Specs Red. Rich and ready to impress. Specs Big Bordeaux Cell has the bottles you love at prices you'll love to toast to. At Specs, the fun starts here. We're in the Rollo Insurance Studio. Pretty good show day. Solid. I think there was different volumes you could expect. Like sometimes I yelled, sometimes I whispered. Nick, your favorite part of the show?
I got to go Dari Nowkhah. We didn't get a chance to talk to him at SEC Media Days, but he's so kind to make some time for us today.
He's so kind, the kindest. Reese, your favorite part of the show?
I would say Brooks Austin.
Yeah.
His deep dive. Was really good.
Yeah.
You?
I would have said Brooks Austin if he said Nuno, but he said Nuno. That's all right.
Nuno.
I called him Austin at SEC Media Days. His name is Brooks Austin. My favorite part of the show was, I don't know, OB and I talking about something probably. What's on the rewind, Nick?
Everyone we just talked about. OB, Josh Pate, Brooks Austin, and Dari Nowkhah.
There you go. Josh Pate, my favorite part of the show. He's at Big Ten Media Days in Vegas, and he doesn't take advantage of Vegas. Check it. Number 24, Amari Nyblack, the tight end. So back-to-back days of tight ends, OB.
Okay.
Now, if you just look at his 2024 stats, you're going to be like, yeah, no. But if you look at what he did at Alabama, combine those with what he did at Texas, you have a little bit better of a reflection. Played in 9 games last year, 5 catches, 33 yards. Per PFF, he was, 44.4 offensive grade. But in 23, played in 14 games, including 4 starts, 20 catches, 327 yards, 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, that's nice.
6'4", 245.
Yeah, I think putting Amari Nyblack there is, I think that's more on potential than production. The production at Alabama in 23 was good, especially for a tight end. I would, if he's the 24th best player on A&M, I would think those numbers are that he's going to exceed the numbers he had at Alabama that year.
Well, Billy has mentioned that, yeah, he'll be a tight end, but maybe more of a wide receiver role, right?
He's that kind of guy that can flex out and is that athletic.
We talked about Noah Thomas in the last segment, and he could be potentially, he along with maybe Jerome Miles, could be potentially that Noah Thomas target, that big guy that you can get the ball to.
Yeah, like I said, it's put him there as based, on the potential of what he could be, and hopefully he will be.
Scored a touchdown against Texas in Alabama's 34-24 loss during the 2023 season. So he did score against the team that he eventually ended up. He did have his most production under Holman Wiggins, who recruited him at Alabama. So
and that's encouraging.
That is. Coach Oko's called him a hybrid player that adds an awful lot of value in the receiving game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when you have one of those, and I'm thinking of Kyle Pitts when he was at Florida, and go all the way back to Jermaine Gresham at Oklahoma. If you remember, if you have that, the tight end always can make up some mismatches.
And I felt like the expansion of the playoffs was the way I wanted it to go, and I enjoyed last year, absolutely. But now I'm like revisionist history, like, you know what? Though I kind of like the charm of the 4 or just the 2, and so. Let me just throw this exercise. I'm sure you've done it before, but had last year been a 14 playoff, Ohio State doesn't win the national championship in that scenario, I don't believe. How does it play out?
I'm trying to think. Let me hit Ohio State first.
Okay.
People have said that in a different way than you just said it. You said it matter of fact, which is correct. I've heard a lot of people say, well, if you still had the 14 playoff, Ohio State wouldn't have even been in it last year, and they think it's some gotcha moment. My reaction is, yeah, I know. That's called consequence of losing not just one regular season game, but losing as a 3-touchdown favorite at home to end the regular season. You could be the Kansas City Chiefs and have descended into college football. I know the Kansas City Chiefs would have the best team, have the best roster, have the most talent. If they lose, they haven't earned their way in to have a right to play for the title. So it wouldn't have bothered me at all if Ohio State was out of the thing. And I'm trying to remember, so Oregon would have been your 1 seed. Would Georgia have been your 2 seed?
I think Georgia, and I think Texas would be 3, right?
Yeah. And you would have had Big Ten. I think you would have had Big Ten and SEC, right? Would you just
Indiana.
Yeah. What? Ooh, man, would they have been up there? Who would have been number 4? Was Penn State that high?
Yeah, Penn State was that high. Yep.
Yeah. That would have been your 14 playoff. At which point I probably would have looked at it and said, kind of feels like we don't even need 4. Kind of feels like we just need 2 here.
Yeah.
But I digress. My feelings would not have been hurt whatsoever if Ohio State was out of it. And the other part of that, David, is Notre Dame played them in the national title game. Well, Notre Dame would have been out as well. What about that, Josh? Yeah, the team that lost to Northern Illinois at home as a 4-touchdown favorite would have been out as well. That's called consequence. That means when you watch those regular season games and that happens, it really is huge. It really is this like mushroom cloud. Can you believe what just happened? Bro, you got to turn over to NBC. It's fourth quarter. Are you watching what's happening? That vibe exists in college football because up until 5 minutes ago, everyone was playing every game on the edge of a cliff.
Right.
And then I turn on the tape of Texas A&M, and the whole offense is predicated on how do we maximize our quarterback and how do we make this thing easy for him. And I just felt it. I felt it was what I call a dichotomy of offense, right? Like one guy being asked to solve world hunger and one guy just being asked to just play alongside the rest of us. So it was just very interesting to me to see. And that's what I honestly do love about studying multiple different schools is just seeing how many different ways guys are trying to get the same job done. We're all trying to win. So everybody's trying to be explosive offensively. How are you going about doing that? And what are you asking your players to do is the coordinator's job. And I felt like Colin Klein was doing a really, really good job last year of trying to maximize a young quarterback skill set. What I'm interested to see is he going to be able to morph what was a very obvious pro-style passing concepts with Connor Weigman and then this RPO college-y offense? Is he going to be able to morph both of them now that he's 100% sold that Marcel Reed's the guy? Because I think Marcel can do all of those things. I think Marcel's an extremely talented thrower of the football, and I know he comes from a football background, his dad being a lifer and a lifetime college football coach. Are you going to get into that more pro-style offense mixed with some of that RPO stuff that really maximizes Marcel's athleticism?
So some of the skeptics out there will say that Marcel doesn't throw the ball down the field enough. He doesn't survey the field. What did you see, and what maybe gives you some optimism that will evolve in year 2?
Yeah. So it's why I'm big on are you paying attention to what they're being asked to do? I don't know how you can say that Marcel Reed doesn't process the field or that Marcel Reed doesn't see the field or whatever your negative criticism about. He wasn't asked to do any of that. I watched the whole game. I broke it down. We just did it, okay? There was never hey, here's the front side of the concept. We got a smash concept over here. And then the number 3 read in the progressions, this backside dig. And if we get to number 4, there's a swing right here from the running back, and we're checking that down. He wasn't asked to do any of that. So, like, I don't know how you can sit there and say he's not processing when there were no place for him to process.
Where are you on Marcel Reed and Texas A&M here in 2025?
Really looking forward to watching him, to be honest. I think that he's obviously going to be a guy that a lot of people are watching. His ability to run the football, how is his passing? I think there's something that was left to be desired a year ago, but the way they have built around him, and obviously in that portal with their key acquisitions at wide receiver, I tell you what, I went into media days last week and I was just unsure of what to think about A&M. I couldn't figure him out. But analyst after analyst, coworker after coworker convinced me that offensively they could be really, really good. Obviously, they'll be able to run the football. We know that, and Le'Veon's the key there. And the offensive line. I was worried about, losing Nick Scorton, losing Shamar Stewart, losing Shamar Turner. But that depth that Mike Elko has built, even in a short period of time, I think is significant. They might look a little different defensively, but there's no reason to think they can't still be really, really good because they're pretty stacked in that back 7 as well.
So I'm like, all right, LSU's going to lose their opener, right? Because that's what they've done the last 5 years. But I feel like they may change that narrative this year. Where are you on LSU?
I'm a little high on them, to be honest. I'm hesitantly high on LSU. I think that when you look at these teams and what they bring, and you're like, okay, where are the fewest question marks? And I tend to think it's them. It starts at quarterback, right? I mean, Bama, Texas, and Georgia all breaking in first-year starters. LSU's not. They've got a guy that's been in the system in that program 5 years. He's worked with Joe Sloan for 4, the last 2 as offensive coordinator. So I like where they are there. There's obviously talent on that offense around him. Defensively might look a little bit different, but if they can figure out the right way to utilize Harold Perkins and he and Whit Weeks make plays back there, I think that they have the fewest questions to answer. If they go to Clemson and lose, I don't know that my take on them is going to change. That's a really difficult opener for LSU, but I think in the end, they've got a real solid shot to be in Atlanta playing for that conference championship, and I think they should be a playoff team.
All right, Reese, tell the people.
They need to like, comment, subscribe, and come back tomorrow for more.
Are you going to be at the social center?
Tomorrow, yes, I will.
Don't come back then.
3-peat.
Huh? 3 days in a row? First time ever?
Yep.
All right, 4 days or no?
No.
Good. We'll see you next time.